Okay. So, New York Post. Over 10,000 posts tie Charlie Kirk's murder to Israel as conspiracy theories explode online. Greenblatt of the ADL writes, anti-Semitic conspiracy theories have exploded online following the murder of Charlie Kirk. In less than 48 hours, ADL has tracked over 10,000 mentions of Israel killed Charlie Kirk on X. It's way more than 10,000 mentions. Maybe that's just that line, that phrase. This is a textbook example of how bad actors take advantage of breaking news to promote false, hateful narratives. What about all of the Zionists taking advantage, trying to turn Charlie into their Zionist saint and rally support for Israel because of all of this? Okay, I wanted to see some of the comments on here. Every single time, trans lover can carry this out. This is IDF coded. Why would they think that? Everybody's sharing the clips of him criticizing, doing his mild criticisms of Israel. Well, so much so that Netanyahu actually addressed the conspiracy on Newsmax.
Israel pushes the...
Before I let you go, I want you to address one thing, and it's just the absurdity of it. Some of the internet...
The crazy thing is, even if they did do it, and even if tons of people, hundreds of thousands of people on Twitter think they did it, and there's conspiracy videos for decades about this, the mainstream narrative and the people in power are going to go along with the official story, and it almost doesn't even matter. And they're just going to point to the conspiracies online and say, oh, those are anti-Semites lying again, blood libels, tropes. We're the victims. They always do this to us. Poor us. That'll be the narrative anyway, regardless of what happened. If they did it or not. If they did it or not, they're still going to maintain the narrative, no matter how many people are saying they did it on Twitter.
Before I let you go, I want you to address one thing, and it's just the absurdity of it. Some of the internet rumors that somehow Israel is behind the Charlie Kirk murder, and I don't believe it for 1 second, but I want you to make a statement. It's so absurd.
That's insane. That's insane. Israel also changes the orbit of the moon. Israel pushes the sun.
I mean, you guys did blow up a bunch of secret pagers in an operation. You have been assassinating all these leaders and bragging how you're 007 and stuff. But, it's a political assassination? That's insane. It would be insane to think that they would take out their top Shabbos Goy. It's all based on the idea that he was gonna turn on them and they were going to lose him. And they'd rather take him out and turn him into a martyr and a victim and then control his narrative. I'm not convinced, honestly, that he really was turning against him. Even if he shifted, he was 5% less Zionist apologist. They had his phone tapped. Oh, I'm sure they did. Well, if he was turning against him, where's the wife to come out and say she thinks they did it, they were turning against him? Is nobody going to speak up? We're going to cover the gray zone thing and the Harrison Smith thing. Apparently, there's 2 sources of somebody close to Charlie that are claiming that he was worried for his life for turning against Israel. Well, where is it? Who is this friend? Is he that scared that they're going to kill him that he's not going to speak out and say it? If he spoke out and said it and then he gets killed, it would just be way too obvious. Everybody would know.
I mean, the whole thing is, it's not only insane, it's...
Good point, Doc J. Holiday. If Mossad did it, then the shooter would have been a Nazi or a Groyper or a Palestinian.
I think it's so absurd, so stupid, and so ridiculous. You can't believe that at the bottom of this.
Annoying idiot.
They go, they have no limits. When you hate Jews, when you hate the Jewish state, you're willing to say anything and promote all these absurd rumors. And by the way, they're willing to kill us all the time. I mean, that's what they're doing. And over the centuries, when Jews, especially in the Middle Ages, the horrific Middle Ages, the worst things were said about Jews you couldn't possibly believe. We were poisoning the wells. We were drinking the blood of Christian children. You name it. I mean, these things, that continued.
See, it gives them the opportunity to talk about all the blood libels, all the conspiracies, all the tropes. That dude on the left looks bad. Gretchen Wiltmore or something. No, what is her name? I forget her name. It's a man, baby.
Actually, up to the Holocaust. The Nazis said the same thing. We're carrying vermin. We're spreading disease. And people believed it. And every time they believed that this was a prelude to a greater and greater massacre, culminating with the worst massacre of them all, the Holocaust. Well, since then, we've learned, A, when people spread these lies about us, prepare yourself for the assault. And, you know, they're trying to delegitimize the state of Israel. Charlie Kirk said to me that, he wrote me this detailed letter, you have to fight the slander. These untruths, these vilifications have consequences. And he was right. But I'll tell you one thing, we're fighting on the battlefield against the terrorists and winning. And he was fighting on the battlefield of ideas. And I think he was winning. He was going to win. That's why they shot him. I hope they don't silence him. I don't think people will give in to these ridiculous, ridiculous lies.
They certainly are. Look at this. ADL's article. They blacked out Harrison, or they blurred out Harrison Smith's name. And he's the one that did the tweet a month before that he said someone close to Charlie had told Harrison Smith that Charlie was worried for his life for criticizing Israel. I would not put it past Israel at all. If they really did think he was going to turn away, if they thought that, because they gave him all the donations, they built him up, they made him, they gave him what he had, basically. And if they thought that he was going to turn away and not support them, I would not put it past them to do it. But also, seeing all these crazy leftists out there that are celebrating the death, I wouldn't have put it past some crazy trans autist to try to take a shot also. Both can be true, by the way, at the same time. Charlie Kirk was having some drama with his Jewish donors. He was pushing back the slightest little bit, and still some leftists thought Charlie was a Nazi and spreading hate and wanted to take him out. Both can be true. No, I do not believe at all that Charlie is still alive and enjoying shekels on a beach in Tel Aviv. No, I'm not going to go for any of the kooky stuff saying that it was fake, it was CGI, it was fake blood or any of that stupid stuff. We're not going there. Come on. You really want people that do that really make people look like schizos.
Perspective and going, first of all, without, so then I'm thinking about it from Israel's perspective and going, first of all, without my tweet as context, it kind of doesn't make any sense because Charlie Kirk is the pro-Zionist guy. He is the pro-Israel guy. He holds that banner and he's known as that. So to say Israel is going to kill him, that genuinely doesn't make any sense.
Not fake.
But then when you think of it as, what if he was going in that direction? What if they were listening in to him and he was in communications with people saying, hey, I think I'm going to go this direction, and they knew his intentions or saw this pattern? Then suddenly it's like, okay, here's this pro-Zionist guy with this incredibly powerful platform that they built, by the way, that Charlie has thanks to them. So if he's going to take what they gave him and turn it against them, that could literally destroy Israel, because the youth is people they're most concerned about. They're bringing over all these under 30 people to Israel to train. They're very concerned about the youth perception of Israel. Charlie is the dude when it comes to Israel. He is such a powerful component of their apparatus. And so then you think like, all right, we can't let him turn. That's just like totally unacceptable. And if he starts to turn and we take him out then we'll be blamed. So, you know, you take him out before he ever really genuinely turns, and then he's a Zionist martyr, and maybe you blame it on a Palestinian, and then you get more anti-Semitism.
You know, it's not out of the realm of possibility that Charlie could have been turning too. From his public statements, that definitely seems to be the case a little bit. He sees the way the wind is blowing. He sees the pressure that he was getting from both sides at Turning Point with the Groypers and people more to the right of him, like, you know, chomping at his heels. Look at Candace Owens. Look at lots of big influencers that are all of a sudden coming out hard against Israel. Ones that used to be big shills are doing it.
Stuff, and you know, unify the right, and they stop criticizing your guy, anymore. Man. I don't know, man. So again, Israel was never my top suspect until, you know, I've spent 24 hours thinking about it, and I'm like, it's not unreasonable. It's not even out of the question in terms of would Israel do this. I mean, it's like, guys, they've done it 14 times since Clinton and I started this conversation. So, you know, it's like, it's in their wheelhouse. And if nothing else, it just shows how much they needed Charlie Kirk, because, man, nobody's going to be defending them anymore. And their reputation is in the toilet.
Yeah. He really was like their biggest defender. This was funny. Look at this video.
Damn clue who you are.
Yeah, you do. Say my name.
Do what?
Let's look at the article first. Anti-Semitic and anti-Israel conspiracy theories follow Charlie Kirk's shooting. I haven't looked at this yet. When did this come out? 9/12. Oh, a few days ago. Okay. Unprecedented level. Charlie Kirk murder. Paul Miller, Gypsy Crusader, 31,000 likes. GDL associate, Paul Miller. Stu Peters, Ian Carroll, 100,000 likes for the Ian Carroll one, saying this was like right after it happened to. So the next day he said he was their friend. He dedicated his life to them and they murdered him in front of his family. Again, acting like like accusing them of doing it just because you think it might have happened. Just because you found a couple clips, that's a little absurd, jumping the gun and claiming like you know it happened. Here's the one where they blurred out Harrison. Harrison's the only one that got blurred out. Isn't that interesting? I'm not going to name names, but I was told someone close to Charlie Kirk that Charlie thinks Israel will kill him if he turns against him. Well, maybe you should tell us those names now, considering he was killed. Syrian Girl, Jackson Hinkle. It's a lot of the big Russia shills are the biggest names promoting this. All right. Max Blumenthal, another big Russia guy. He was just over in Russia at the Dugin conference, right? He's on here with, he had the article out of the Gray Zone saying Charlie rejected money that Netanyahu wanted to give him and that he was critical of Iran stuff. Let's see this.
Does the President of the United States fear for his life?
Yes. Yes. I mean, obviously he fears for his life. And I was told that he feared for his life before the 2 assassination attempts, one coming within a millimeter of striking his head.
Netanyahu gave him a pager. We all know that's a threat. Trump knows that's a threat.
I mean, let's not forget about that.
But I mean, just to clarify, he doesn't fear for his life because of Ireland.
No.
I mean, I've been told, yes, that Israel is a major source of concern for Trump. I mean, think about it. What would happen?
This is our ally.
If he suspended if he suspended arms to a country that carries out assassinations all across the globe, that specializes in assassinations, that has an entire wing of its intelligence services that conducts assassinations, including with household goods like pagers, would you not be scared? So yes, Trump is scared. And what I learned from this source, who is a Trump insider, someone who talks to
again, their whole article that they do here is from an anonymous source too.
Who has,
not the greatest, not the greatest.
Talks to people in the Oval Office, people close to Trump, is that during one of Netanyahu's many visits to the U.S. this year, some figures in his retinue, Israeli agents, placed electronic devices on emergency response Secret Service vehicles. The Secret Service found them and they reported this to the White House. These would be emergency response vehicles that would respond to an incident.
Remember, they had in Trump's first term, they had the Stingray trackers, spy devices.
Potentially involving the president.
Okay, I think there's more clips from him.
Does the President of the United States...
Okay, here's Charlie Kirk was pissed at Israel. Here's
abuse.
Megyn Kelly and Tucker talking about
He was one of the
that.
only people, I mean, truly one of the only people to go to the president whom he loved. He loved Donald Trump, like personally as well. And I think the president really loved him in a real way. But he was one of the only people to go to the Oval Office and say, sir, I totally understand and think Iran's really bad, but a war with Iran is not, is something that could really hurt our country. I mean, boy, that was an unpopular position. He didn't need to express it. Oh, of course. And he did it again. He didn't have some weird agenda. He wasn't mad at anybody. He was for his country and he was for doing the right and wise and difficult thing. And he said that. He went to the Oval Office to say that. He took massive abuse from his own donors, which is also something that you don't see people. And he loved his donors. It wasn't a hostile thing, but they had a different view. A lot of them, not all, but a lot. And they expressed it to him in a very intense way. I know because he showed me. And he said, look, I understand your perspective. This is my perspective. And we're going to do what we think is the right thing.
Well, he knows. Charlie was complaining that they were calling him anti-Semitic.
$5. The only thing Israel is probably behind is having influencers blame Israel so that they can pass anti-Semitism laws.
Yeah, via through Russia, the Russian networks. Good point. And even if that's not the case, that's what's going to end up happening.
He was the voice of young people. I mean, there are no young people in the country anymore supporting.
So you're telling me how many people have to be in on it if it's Mossad, by the way? The family of the shooter, all the people in the chat group of the shooter, the shooter's boyfriend, trans boyfriend, the dad that reported him, everybody at the FBI and the local police. Like, how many people are going to all the insiders, all of Charlie's best friends, like Don Jr. and Jack Posobiec and Bannon and Tucker, all of them, they're all in on it. Nobody's saying that it was Israel that did it. The wife didn't have conversations with him about him fearing for his life or anything.
This war and wanting Israel to continue its bombing campaign. That's just the truth. Look at the polls. And he was in touch with them. And even where his own opinion may have differed from their opinion, he felt like he owed it to them to bring their message to the sitting president of the United States. I mean, it was that's what's been snuffed out.
Well, as he has been, unfortunately, but he was one of the very few people I have met who combined a love for everyone involved with strong views. So again, he was not animated by anything creepy or weird. I mean, you knew him intimately, so you know this. If you talk to him off camera, he would say, you know, I love whoever I'm talking about, but I think this is wrong. It's immoral. It's bad for everybody involved, both sides. And he would say that, and he could say that because it was sincere. It was completely sincere. But I cannot overstate the amount of attacks he took privately over this, like absolutely for real. And having lived in Washington most of my life and seen people run nonprofits, I've never met one who was willing. Stand up is too strong. He wasn't confrontational, but he would just say, no, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but I think this is the right thing. The people we represent, which is mostly young people, they believe this, and I believe it also. It was brave, but loving at the same time. And I'm not sure he made a lot of headway, by the way. I mean, I think he made real enemies in doing that, but his view didn't change. Anyway.
He made real enemies, huh?